I've met quite a lot of people who think of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi as very progressive and feminist movies. I've seen a lot of articles and critics praising the new trilogy for the same reasons. As a feminist myself, I'm gonna have to disagree. These two films make a writing mistake that I see everywhere these days. They overcompensate for the way women have been underrepresented throughout cinematic history. They get too carried away with their activism, and here's how. They dumbed down all the male characters to make the female characters look better. Don't believe me? Let's take a closer look. Han Solo went from being a wildly heroic space pirate turned rebellion general to an absent father stereotype. A character who once flew straight into an asteroid field to escape the Empire, a character who once saved his best friend from freezing in the most metal way possible, the same guy whose knee-jerk reaction to seeing Darth Vader was to shoot him, and he's reduced to an absent father. He abandoned all that he ever fought for, and the love of his life, and his best friend, and pretty much everything. Yes, I know it's technically very #relatable considering the rates of absentee fathers in our modern society, but it just feels unfair to treat such a beloved character this way. Luke Skywalker went from being a clueless farm boy to a clueless rebel to a well-trained and stubbornly optimistic Jedi warrior. He looked at Darth Vader, the most evil guy in the galaxy next to Palpatine, and said, "There's still good in you, and I'm gonna bring you into the light if it kills me." He basically defeats Palpatine and saves Darth Vader with the power of love and compassion. So why the hell, in these new movies, did he turn into a grumpy old asshole who, surprise, also abandoned Leia in the rebellion? How the hell did he look at Kylo Ren, his nephew, who throughout these films is shown to be extremely conflicted over his devotion to the dark side, and say even for 1 second, he's not redeemable? Luke, you argued with your evil, mass-murdering force chokes guys over Skype to prove a point as dad, and insisted that he could still redeem himself. What kind of nihilistic shit is this that Luke just loses all of his cool character traits and switches them out for weakness and doubt? And the last thing Luke does is punk his shit-heel nephew in front of the whole damn galaxy before he dies? Where the hell is my Luke-Rey bonding? Where is my training montage? Why the f did I watch this movie? Speaking of Kylo Ren and Darth Vader, let's just talk for a second about the importance of the villain in a plotline. As the old adage goes, you are only as good as your villain. Kylo Ren may be initially intimidating due to his unhinged emotional state and senseless violence, but when you think back to Darth Vader, Kylo Ren just starts to look like a punk bitch. What J.J. Abrams, Lawrence Kasdan, Michael Arndt, and Rian Johnson are doing with Kylo Ren is making him into a representation of a very current type of real-world villain. Kylo Ren is a school shooter. He's the greasy, emotionally unstable, entitled white boy, cursing under his breath, scaring the shit out of everyone from the back of the class. And yeah, that kind of person is pretty scary, if for no other reason than their unpredictability. But again, think back to Darth Vader. You know what Darth Vader is parallel to? Adolf Hitler. Yes! Ouch! Sorry guys, but I think Hitler's gonna be a bit more of a threat than one asshole kid shooting up a school. Need we even go into the atrocities Hitler committed? Do I need to make the argument that Darth Vader is scarier than Kylo Ren? I mean, for starters, when Luke tried to pick a fight with Vader, Luke got his ass handed to him and lost a hand. Han Solo reflexively shoots at Vader on sight, but it doesn't mean shit because Vader is so kung fu with the Force. Meanwhile, Kylo Ren got his ass beat by a desert rat who's never had a day of training in her life. Not just once either. In fact, Rey constantly makes Kylo Ren look like a fucking idiot. Even Snoke says so. Everyone knows Kylo Ren is just a greasy idiot. What happens when your main villain is a greasy idiot? He doesn't seem threatening. It never feels like Rey is gonna have her work cut out for her. Man, every time Luke, Han, and Leia, or anyone, faced up to Vader, you were afraid for their lives because you knew damn well how unstoppable Vader was. That's what made it so heroic when they finally beat him. So what are they gonna do with Rey and Kyle? She just gonna curb stomp him and go on to rule the galaxy? What's the point? I thought Snoke or Hux or Phasma might play into this whole mess, especially Snoke since at least he seems competent, but whoops, he's dead now. So who's the threat then? Well, Phasma's pretty scary. Oops, she's dead now too. Though let's be honest, they're probably gonna bring her back because all that's left is Hux and he's about as intimidating as a kitten. A very greasy kitten that needs to be shoved in a locker. Even the other characters think he needs to be shoved in a locker. Speaking of bullying Hux, let's talk about Poe Dameron. Man, Poe Dameron. I think I remember reading somewhere that they were originally gonna kill him off, and honestly, now I wish they would've. He somehow rose through the ranks of command in the Resistance, never learning that, hey, sometimes you need to back out of a fight. He gets almost everyone under his command killed because he wanted so badly to take out one of those knockoff Star Destroyers in the first act of The Last Jedi. Then he goes on to be disrespected over and over by the crew and the command. And at the very end, when they should try to stop that big blasty nightmare gun before it goes off and kills everyone, even if it is a suicide mission, he quits, he pulls out and tells everyone else to pull out too. And that's the best excuse for character arc any of the male characters get. Because how does Finn change? His character traits are self-sacrifice, loyalty, childishness. He doesn't seem to get any stronger or wiser throughout the two movies. He and Rose are sent on a wild goose chase during the second act of The Last Jedi that literally amounts to nothing and wastes a bunch of time and gets them out of the way so that the white people can do important stuff. But I won't get into the inherent racism of that writing choice. This video is about sexism. By the way, where the fuck is Chewbacca? He was a full-on character in the first 3 movies, and the only thing he did in The Last Jedi was hold a cooked porg like he was reviewing sewer chicken.
I can't believe that you can just crawl in the sewer and find chicken like this.
Okay. In summary, male characters are infantilized, bastardized, and pushed to the side to make way for the overpowered female characters. Let me tell you why this is a bad thing to do, and why it doesn't help feminism and the progress of gender equality. If you feel like you need to hold men back in order for women to shine, you are implying that women are inferior. You are saying that heroic female characters, standing on equal terms with heroic male characters, is unrealistic or even impossible. Now, there are a few conclusions we can come to about this. Number 1, the writers didn't think about any of this. They didn't think very much at all about the implications of their character writing, and genuinely thought this was all fine and dandy. Number 2, they knew damn well what they were doing, did it all on purpose, and wanted to push a guys are shit, old people are shit, women reign supreme, please step on me narrative, not realizing that this mindset is still sexist. Number 3, they knew damn well what they were doing. They do think women are inferior, and their claims to feminism and equality are nothing more than virtue signaling. Personally, I'm gonna hope it's the first conclusion, because even though it insults their intelligence, the other 2 options are much more malevolent. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know? Then again, I gave The Force Awakens the benefit of the doubt, excusing its writing problems, thinking, well, they can totally fix all of it in the next film. Hope is not lost.
You know, hope is a mistake.
Honestly, the only thing I'm hoping for in Episode 9 is everyone being killed off and the franchise being laid to rest so that maybe, just maybe, people will start making films without using somebody else's intellectual property.